Good morning, you guys. All right, it is time. It is go time, right? So, sorry, I'm turning my light on so you can see me and I don't look like a ghost. I am going to wait a minute or two until I see some people popping on as I get my notes together here. Michaela, how are you, girl? Look at you. I haven't seen you in forever. So as you guys pop on, if you will just hit like, say hello to me, something, so I know that I have got an audience. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the heart. All right. I'm just going to wait a couple more minutes and go into your Lisa. Hey, Lisa. All right. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. I love this. I love what I do. No connection on your end. Oh no. Good morning, Lisa. I love y'all. Hey, Katie. Awesome. Oh my gosh. I feel so excited to do this. All right. Good morning, guys. So, people are hopping on, and I am going to go ahead and get started. First of all, let me just say, Haley, like you killed it this morning. You were amazing, and your story is very powerful. So I can see why you are so successful, and whether you lack confidence or whatever, you're shy, you are killing it in this business, and I know you're helping people, and that is awesome. I really enjoyed watching you this morning. And so my topic today that I was asked to talk about is connecting and building relationships. But first, and guys, I'm like a note maker, so I have all these notes that I've made and they're on my computer screen. So I'm going to read from some of that, but I'm going to try to talk directly to you as much as I can. But first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am Rachel Mitchell. I am a 2-star premier coach for this year, and I have actually been a coach since July. I think I signed up at the end of July and officially launched my business in August of 2014. All right, so lots of coaches that signed up at the same time as me, rank advance much quicker. I hit diamond in 5 or 6 months, I think. And then, guys, let me tell you something. I'm not proud of this, but I think it's important for you guys to know that, not everyone builds this business at the same speed. I stayed at diamond for 20 months. For 20 months. That's a really long time in this business. But I did. And my point being that, okay, a couple points. I didn't really, for all of 2015, I just kind of teetered on, am I going to stick with this? Am I going to quit? Am I going to just run challenge groups? Am I going to build a team? What am I going to do? Because honestly, I was super afraid. I am a full-time college history instructor, so I had a full-time job. I am a mom to Henry and Milo. At the time, they were 4 and 6. Now they are 6 and 8, 6.5 and 8. And so, I wasn't sure what my commitment level was. So if I know this call is not about commitment or whatever, but I want to tell you, don't stand on the fence. Make a decision. Make a decision. Are you going to build this business? Are you going to stay where you're at? Are you going to just run challenge groups? Are you going to recruit coaches? Make a decision and just do it. And whenever I changed my mindset going into 2016 in January, I committed to giving that year all I had with the time that I had. Like I said, I teach full time. I'm a instructor. I work, every day except for the summers. I'm out in the summertime. So I've had to build my business around that job and around my family. But in 2016, I committed to running a sneak peek every month, to recruiting coaches, and that's when I hit 2-star. That's when I tripled my income. That's when my volume really started to grow. And so don't think that if you've been in this business for a long time, or you've just kind of been doing nothing for a long time, that you can't just decide to go for it and do it, because that is all that I did. There's nothing super special about me. I don't have this huge horrible story that people connect with. I was just a mom in the spring of 2014 who had her babies, who had stopped nursing, who had never really struggled that much with weight loss, but suddenly, at 33, my body just turned against me, right? And I couldn't lose weight like I used to. And so I found a solution. I found a solution with the 21-day fix first. Then I joined a challenge group, and then I got Shakeology, and then I signed up as a coach. I'm kind of your normal, start with a challenge group and then go into coaching later, right? And so that is really like how I got into the business. And I started just thinking I would get my Shakeology paid for, might help a couple people a month, but I didn't really have big intentions to do a lot with this business. But God had other plans, and I am still a full-time college history instructor. I still work full-time, and even when I'm home, like I have my kids, and I don't know who said it's easier when you stay at home and your kids are at home, because it is not. They like drive me nuts in the best kind of way, if you get what I'm saying. And it's really hard for me to do this business when they're at home. They're at school today, but they're almost out of school. So anyways, that is my coaching story. But I was asked to talk about connecting and building relationships. And like if I had to pinpoint one of the most important aspects and one of the things that has made me most successful as a coach, and I'll tell you, like I'm a high Success Club point earner for, I'm not like in the hundreds or anything, but I consistently hit Success Club 25, 30 every month. And so I think that one of the things that makes me successful is that I really invest in individual conversations, in individual relationships. You know, we are totally in the business of changing lives. Okay, so like if you're on my team and you're watching, or you watch this later, like please just help me drive this home. I tell my team all the time, Team Take Heart, that we don't sell candles. Like we don't sell, just something that's not really, those are great. There's nothing wrong with that. But like we are in the business of changing lives. And it used to frustrate me so bad when people would say, we're not selling, we're sharing. And I was like, whatever, we are selling Shakeology, right? But after I ran a couple of challenge groups, after I had some challengers that had successes, after I saw what we were doing as coaches was truly like changing people's lives for the better, I realized, yeah, we sell Shakeology. Yeah, we sign people up for All Access. Yeah, we sign people up for 21-Day Fix. But it's because those things change people's lives. So that is our number one goal. Our number one goal in this business is to make a difference and help people get results, right? And so connecting and building relationships and investing in people is one of my favorite parts of this business. Like far and above. As a new coach, like it was hard for me to reach out to people. It was hard for me to do those daily behaviors of connecting and adding friends. Like I worried about what people would think about me. I worried, would they think I was just trying to sell them something? Or was I just like every other like network marketer? I was just going to add somebody and then invite them to something. But I tell my team all the time, like in our trainings, that, the way I approach connections and the way that I approach those hey girl messages and the way that I approach adding friends is that my viewpoint is that, whether or not someone signs up as a coach, whether or not they sign up as a challenger, like I am about to go out there and make a brand new friend. Like, I don't care who they are. I don't care what the outcome is. But like when I add friends, when I connect with people, when I send hey girl messages, when I comment on people's posts, like I am out there making new friends. I don't have like, is this person going to turn into a Success Club point for me? Or is this person going to end up being a coach? That's not in the back of my mind. Like I lead with, I am building relationships. I am starting friendships. And, God showed me somehow today, how can I invest in this person's life and make their day better? All right. So it's a really simple mindset shift. It's a really simple shift into that, like I'm investing in this person and their life. And I know that in the beginning, like I didn't think that way. I really didn't think that way. Like I would go through this checklist that I have. This is a daily vital behaviors checklist, and it tells me to add friends, to send hey girl messages, to follow up, to connect with people, and I would just go through and check it off. Like it was just a to-do list. Literally, I would add friends, I would like and comment on some posts, I would send those messages, and that's all I was doing. And I lost sight of the fact that this was an individual. This was a person just like me, a person who might struggle with self-worth, a person who might struggle with their self-image, a person who maybe has been teased at some point in their life about their weight or about, how they look. And, a person who may view like tackling their health and fitness as something super duper scary. So when I'm just going through this list and doing these things and checking them off, like I'm not doing my job. My job is to like zero in on that person and view them as an individual, view them as someone who may struggle with this, you know? And so before I even approach people, most days, this is most days, 99% of the time, before I even approach them about anything related to my business, I want them to know that I am interested in them, right? Like like, let's see, Katie, I'm interested in you. Like, I want to know what you struggle with. I want to know what you do for fun. I want to know what your family unit is. Like, I want to know about you before I even talk about health and fitness or talk about the business opportunity. So that is my number one goal when I'm sitting down to do my 4 vital behaviors, okay? So how do I do this? Like, how do I start a conversation? How do I reach out to people? First, I go to their page, right? So I go to someone's page, and I'm going to walk you through kind of like my daily process, or my monthly process, and how I start from adding a person to inviting them to a challenge group. But I study their page. I look at their pictures. You know, I can always remember in the back of my head, and I say this to my team all the time. Like, you don't want to go say, hey girl, what's up? How's your day? And like their grandmother just died, right? So you want to make sure that you know what's going on in their life before you even reach out to them in any way, okay? And so if I cannot truly and genuinely find something to connect with someone over, then I don't do it. Like, if I go to someone's page and all they post are like dark, negative, like quotes or shares or something like that, most of the time I'm not going to connect with them. And so like, again, being genuine and really investing in these people is so key. So I'm going to walk you through my process. So if you have a pen and paper and you want to write this down, do. I know this will be recorded, but this is my process for adding, connecting, and inviting. And guys, like, if you don't have a good daily business activity tracker, I love you guys, Beachbody, but I don't love the ones that are in the Coach Online office. One of my really good friends, actually my success partner, created this one, and it's the one I use, and it's the one that I share with my team. And I also use Google Streak. So tracking is important. So like, when you sit down to do your power hour, you've got to track what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just going to get lost and lose people. So I'm going to walk you through my process for adding, connecting, and inviting. All right. So every single day, okay, guys, like, I started with 150-ish friends on Facebook. Every single day, I have added at least 3 friends. Now I add more, like 10 to 15. So every day I'm adding people. I'm just adding people. I'm not sending them messages when I add them. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just simply adding people. And honestly, I don't even write their name down on my add list until they actually accept my friend request, right? Okay, so I'm adding people. And then next week, when I sit down to do my power hour, I'm going to go back and look and see who I added the week before, who accepted my friend request. I'm going to go to their page. I'm going to study it. I'm going to like some of their posts. I'm going to comment on some of their posts. I'm going to say, you know, oh, your baby's so cute, or I love your jeans. Like, where did you get those? You know, I'm going to interact with them publicly some way so that they start to take notice of who I am and that I am out there on social media. You know, when someone likes your post on social media and you don't really interact with them a lot, or you don't know who they are, first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to their page and say, who is this person? All right. So that's one way that I start that relationship, is I genuinely like and comment on some of their posts. The next week, so like, I've added the person one week, the next week I've started to interact on social media, and then the third week I'm going to send a hey girl message. Now, I'll tell you, this is a slow process. This is not something where I'm adding people and I'm just immediately inviting them to my challenge groups. I don't do it that way. It just doesn't work for me. I don't feel confident in my conversations. I want people to know that, you know, like, I really want to know who they are, okay? And so the third week, I will start to send hey girl messages. So I'll go back to my tracker. I'll look to see who I've added, and I'm moving them through these funnels. And if I've already added them as a friend, if I've liked and I've commented on their posts, then I'm going to send them a message. And it's not going to be Beachbody related, okay? So I'm not even talking Beachbody yet unless they've contacted me first, which a lot of people do. A lot of people do contact me because they go to my page and they see my posts and they ask me about challenge groups, all right? So I send a hey girl message to people. And this can be, again, like you can connect with someone over anything. You can connect with them over their dog, their cat, where they went on vacation. What type of diapers do you buy your kid? Where did you get your daughter's hair bow? Like I see your kids. I connect with people over things, obviously, that relate to me a lot. So I have a lot of moms of boys that follow me. I see your kid plays travel ball. Like, do you guys enjoy that? Is it really hard to manage with your schedule? So I'm sending messages to people and connecting over things that are part of their life already. And I'm not just saying, hey girl, I'm a Beachbody coach and I want to know if you want to join my challenge group, because that's not how I do it. And whenever I start these hey girl messages, I have a lot of people who always respond. Honestly, I rarely have anyone who does not respond to that initial hey girl message. And if they do, then I might follow up again next week and just send them another question, connect in another way. But when you're connecting, what tracking system? I use Google Streak, Katie, here, and I can actually show you if that would help. Let's see. This is my Google Streak. All right, and so like I have these, I can't even remember what they're called. Pipelines, that's what they're called. And so like I have one that says 10 in play. It shows people who are ready to buy a challenge pack. My new contacts, my leads, I keep up with those. People that I'm moving from new contacts into liking and commenting. People that I send hey girl messages to, birthday messages. That's a big one. My friend Timmy taught me to use the calendar and send hey girl messages. I have like people I want to follow up with on Monday. This is my coach tab, but I actually created a different one for coaching. Challenge people that I move into challenge group invites, and then people who aren't ready to do anything, and I follow up with them next month, but I'll explain that in a minute. But I like Google Streak. It's free. You can pay for it, and I may actually have to start because the version you pay for actually allows you to set reminders. But right now, I basically just go into my tracker, see who I've been in touch with the week before, and my goal is to move those people into the next pipeline. So if I added them as a friend next week, I need to move into that pipeline this week where I start liking and commenting on their posts. And then next week, I'll move them into the pipeline where I send a hey girl message. And then by then, I am ready to invite them into a challenge group, okay? And so I'm running a challenge group at least once a month. So I always have an opportunity to convert these people through this pipeline and get them invited to a challenge group. Now, how do I do that? Do I just like automatically say, hey, I want to invite you to my challenge group? Sort of, a little bit, maybe. But I like to use an event page. I didn't start out I really have only been using an event page for like 8-10 months. But it's a good tool. I tell my coaches it's like a buffer between just jumping in there and saying, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? I will create an event page every month for my challenge groups, and I will go back to my tracker. I'll look at these people that are on my list that I have invested in, that I've spent time communicating with them, and I will click invite, choose their name, and invite them to my event page for my challenge group. And then, this is key, okay? This is really important. Immediately, as soon as I do that, I will go to private messenger. I'll send them a message, and I'll say, hey, Katie, I invited you. I want you to know I invited you to my upcoming Faith and Fitness Accountability group. I know we've been talking about our kids and stuff, but as I was planning this morning, as I was praying over it, and I'm a prayer, your name popped to mind, and I really wanted to reach out to you and see if you would be interested in learning more about this challenge group. It's all about fitness and faith and meal planning and holding one another accountable. Do you have any fitness goals that you're working towards? And I love that last line. Do you have any fitness goals that you're working towards? Because everybody does. Everybody does. Okay? And so that's how I approach them. They start as a new friend, and then I take them through that funnel, and then I invite them to the challenge group. And then that is really when the real relationship building begins, truly. Because you invite someone to a challenge group, and again, this is personal stuff like fitness and health And weight and self-image, that's personal stuff. So I'm not just going to invite them and say, you know, we're doing the 21-day fix and Shakeology, we're going to meal plan, you need the challenge pack. No, 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 no. I am going to start asking them questions, all right? And I actually have a picture that I created for my team that I'm going to share with you guys here, and it's just like my kind of like my invite process, and then a list of questions that I typically ask to get the conversation started. So whenever I invite them to that event page, I send them a private message. If they say, sure, yeah, tell me more. Okay, so I'm going to start asking them questions. And we all know this. Like, you guys know this. If you've been through Coach Basics or any type of training, you know that you have to ask questions to figure out how to help them, right? And so I ask things like, okay, awesome. Like, what is your fitness goal? Like, do you want to lose weight? Do you need to just learn how to eat better? Do you want to get your family involved? Like, I'll start with a couple questions, and people always respond. And so, like, one of the big ones, and Carl Deichler actually shared this in our I'm Here to Help group page today. But, you know, like, I love this question. Like, how would your life look if they respond and say, I need to lose 30 pounds. I need to get my family eating cleaner. I need to start cooking more meals at home. I like to ask them, so that's awesome. Those are great goals. Like, that's very admirable. What would your life look like in 3 months if you were able to achieve this? Like, how would your life be different if you could make these things happen? And what I'm doing is I'm really helping them connect deeply and emotionally with why they want to do this. Because, I mean, everybody wants to lose weight unless we don't need to. And even those of us who don't really need to, we still think we could look a little bit better, right? And that's great. Weight loss, there's nothing wrong with that. But our connection, our why has to be deeper than that, and for us to stick with it and to really make it a lifestyle change. And so my goal is to help these people realize how their life could be different if they were able to do this. And so those are the questions that I ask. And whenever they respond, whatever they respond with, I try to relate with them in some way. If they say, I'm just struggling really bad, like my family won't get on board, I can't find the time, we're so busy, you know, money's tight, and I think that eating clean food is just too expensive, I always, always, always use the feel, felt, found. Like, I always relate to what they're talking about. I acknowledge their objections, and I say, girl, you know, I feel ya. I actually felt the same way whenever I first started, and I was really afraid to begin, but what I found was this, you know, what I found was that, you know, clean eating really wasn't that bad when I stopped eating out. That Shakeology really wasn't that expensive when I stopped eating out, or when I started to budget for it in my weekly grocery budget, or when I realized that, hey, it's actually a meal replacement, right? And so I acknowledge their objections instead of just, you know, like quickly trying to combat them. Because I've done that before. Like, I've always like used that objections document, and I just try to go after them, and I try to say, okay, well, this is really why you can afford Shakeology. No, they don't want to know why they can afford Shakeology. They want to feel like you understand what they're talking about, right? But so don't be too quick to just overcome those objections just to make a sale. You know, because you got to realize too, like, it's easy to forget, but think about the misgivings or the objections or you know, the things that you struggled with before you started. Most people feel those same things, and there's nothing worse than talking to someone who seems to just be ignoring what you're saying. And so, like, when they give us objections and we just try to automatically overcome them without acknowledging them, that drives people away. But when you connect with them, when you relate to their objections, when you say, I understand, then they trust you more. They're going to trust you more. They may not end up signing up, but they're still going to trust you more. All right? And so definitely relate to them. And when someone tells me no, I don't just walk away. Like, I don't just say, okay, well, you know, thanks, I'm going to move on. No, I still continue to invest in people. And I tell them I understand, and I always offer some type of help. If someone tells me no to my challenge group, if they say, no, I can't commit, I offered help anyways. I say, okay, well, here are a couple of my sample meal plans. if you just want to try these and see if you feel better, if you hey Sarah, and if you want to just get started on your own, like I don't mind to give you something to help you get started. I might say, here's a link to my blog and my recipes page. There's lots of family friendly recipes in there. Just start trying some things and see how your family responds. I might say, okay, well, you said you struggle with Dr. Pepper. Set a goal this week to cut out 3 Dr. Peppers, and then next week cut out 5. So I'm not just walking away if they turn me down on the challenge group, because I want them to know that still their health is still important to me. I still want to encourage them. I still want to push them to do something to make their health a priority. And guys, I have a really good return rate for people who say no to me. I have a really high return rate. Those people typically continue to watch me, continue to follow me, and then eventually they join a challenge group. Why? Because I'm always posting, because I'm always inviting, and because I run a challenge group every single month, right? And so, and then I also, on top of that, this is not connection related, but I turn around, I take those objections that they gave me, and I'm going to make a post about it. You, by golly, better believe if somebody tells me they can't afford Shakeology, if I hear that 3 times in 2 days, like the next day I'm going to make a post about it. I'm not going to call anybody out, but I'm going to address their exact objections and talk about, how I overcame those objections and why it works for me. All right. So I never cut people off. I never take them off a list unless they tell me to. And that's never happened. Honestly, nobody's ever asked me to stop following up with them. And so I keep those people, I just move them over into a list that says not ready right now, or I'll ask them, can I follow up with you next month? I'm going to run a challenge group in June. I'm going to run a challenge group every month. I'm going to be here. So when you're ready, I'm ready. Can I follow up with you now? Can I follow up with you when your kids go back to school? Can I follow up with you when the holidays are over? Whatever their objection was, I'm going to ask if I can follow up later. And I definitely encourage them, you're never really going to be ready. I mean, nobody's ever ready to just stop eating carbs or to stop going through the drive-thru or to stop drinking alcohol or whatever it might be. But I just tell them, when you're ready, I'm ready. And I'm going to follow up with you on this date if that's okay. And most people say yes. All right. So I don't take people off my list. They're always on my list. And the next thing, if you guys have questions about anything I'm saying, please just post, because I just zoom through this stuff. I just talk. Ask my team. So my next tip is definitely take your time. As you can see, this is not a quick process. I'm not adding friends and having them accept and converting them to challengers in the same week. This is a process for me. But if you're doing this every single day, if you're making this just a habit, just part of your power hour, you're constantly bringing people into your funnel. Some will sign up quicker. Some people need longer. Some people sign up the same day that I invite them to a challenge group, so it's not everybody's going to, but if you're doing this every single day, if you're bringing people into your invite funnel and moving them out, then you're going to have Success Club points. You're going to hit Success Club 5. All right. Let me say too, some people never sign up. There are people that I've talked to that have never, ever signed up. And that's okay. That's okay. But you don't want to drag people kicking and screaming into a challenge group with a challenge pack and Shakeology that they didn't want in the first place, because then they're not going to do anything. And you don't want dead challengers in your challenge groups. And you don't want people that don't get results, because that doesn't help your business. And you just don't want to force people to do something they're not ready to do. Because again, this is about trust. This is about relationships. And if they do something that you tell them, oh, you're going to do great at this, you're going to love it, you're going to get all these results, and then they don't, then that's not helping your business. So, if you're doing these things every single day, and you're really investing in these relationships, you're going to have people joining you. You're going to have people signing up for your challenge groups. And, again, when they join your challenge group, that's when even more work begins. That's when the real work begins. And I think that's a topic for another call. But I can share with you guys a little bit about what I do for people who sign up as my challengers to continue investing in them. But my last point is that this all comes back to posting. Guys, I mean, I think, our power hour, inviting people, adding friends on Facebook, sending hey girl messages, following up with people, like that's great. But if you're not posting on social media, then you're just like shooting bullets in the dark, right? And you're not doing any good. You're credible because when you send these messages, when you add people as friends, the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to go to your page and they're going to say, like, who is this chick? What is she about? What is she? I don't know her. Why is she adding me as a friend? And they're going to go to your page. All right. And so they're gonna look to see what you're about. Like, are you relatable? Or are you just a girl who posts workout selfies? Like, are you adding value? Are you sharing your story? If you're all Beachbody all the time, then nobody's gonna care what you have to say. Because, like, I'll tell you, like, before I signed up for the 21 Day Fix, like, I didn't even realize it was Beachbody, honestly. I had always heard that term, and I didn't like it. Like, I associated it with P90X or something that was too extreme for me to do. And, just the word Beachbody, like, I didn't get what Beachbody was about. So, your timeline, your posting is really, really, really important. And again, like, you can connect with people and you can build stronger relationships when you are consistent in your posting and sharing your story. Like, share the struggles, share the things that you doubt, share the struggles that you overcome, share your triumphs, but be really, really, really real. Like this morning I got up and I posted about the fact that I really did not want to do my workout. Like, I did not want to do it. I wanted to skip it. But I had to do it anyways. People don't relate to me if I'm excited about push and play every single morning. But people relate to real life Rachel, who has 2 kids, who has a job, who has to struggle to make this work too. Sorry, somebody's at my door. Hold on. Oh, it's the FedEx man. Okay. So, that is really important. So your posting is you don't have a business if you're not posting. And the reason I say that is because I see so many coaches start and they're like, I just don't know why this is not working. And you go to their page and there's nothing. Like, there's nothing. They might post one workout selfie a week, or they might post a recipe a week. But other than that, they're like sharing posts and, just posting pictures of their kids. And I'm like, this is your business. This is your storefront. People are not going to sign up with you if you're not, like, advertising for it, right? And so that's really important. And my last point that I want you guys to really, really, like, cling to and believe is that comparison will kill your business. I do this business differently than somebody else. Like, I looked at Haley this morning and I was like, oh, she's an 8-star, and I think she's been a coach for less time than me. But that's okay. She runs her business differently. Like, I just didn't, like, I took a whole year where I didn't push. That's my fault. Like, I do take time to slowly invest in people, and it pays off for me. It pays off. It may not be in diamonds, but it does pay off in the number of lives that I've helped. It pays off in my Success Club points. It pays off in volume and income, and this is the way that I train my team. And so, like, you can't compare your business, your post, your invite process, your Success Club points to another coach's, right? Your rank either. You've got to find what works for you. And these are things, investing in people and taking the time to individually talk to people, to study them, to really put my heart and soul into those conversations definitely helps build trust for me in my business. And so that's important. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. So, do you guys have any questions? Let's see. Let me refresh this just to make sure I'm seeing everything. If you guys have questions for me about any of that, like, I am so happy to answer questions. But that is all I have. So, I'm going to share again, like, that image that I share with questions that I ask potential challengers below this video, and then that if you guys have questions after that, you can definitely ask me, and I'm happy to share anything with you. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks for the time. Thanks for taking the time to come watch, and good luck. You've got 8 days left in this month. Go for it. Go out there and build those relationships. Let people know you care, and get them started, because we do have the solution for health and fitness. There's no other way to say it. All right. Bye, guys.